Okay, I have another app that I want to show, but let me first tell you the motivation behind it, the purpose of it, and then we'll go into the demo. So I'm currently training for a half marathon, and it will be my first time racing for a half marathon, and I had never really I guess properly trained for one. So I Googled training plans for half marathon, and then yeah. Then my sister recommended Runna, which is a type of like a runner's app, kind of like a Strava, Nike Run Club, Garmin, things like that. And so I got onto Runna, but there's a subscription to it. And I did the 30-day subscription, got my plan, screenshotted everything. And then basically after my 30-day trial was up, some of the features were gone. And anyway, so I thought, I'm motivated by the fact that I don't want to go to websites that are buggy or pay money. So what I mean by buggy websites is that like sometimes if you go onto free websites, they're kind of sketchy because it feels like a video game. They have all these ads that are like sliding up or popping in or flying in, and it's annoying to try to dodge all those and then use the app that they created or the website that they created. So I don't want to misclick on an ad that will cause potentially a virus to my computer or my phone. So that was one motivator. The other one was I'm too cheap. I don't want to pay money. So I thought, okay, then let me just create my own runner, maybe the off brand and one that has half the features. So yeah, that is kind of the motivation and the setup for this. Now, the purpose of this is it's supposed to be like your virtual coach. So if you see in my URL bar, it says Kochi-training-plan.shunli.app. Kochi is a Korean word for coach. It's a Konglish word. And yeah, basically this is your virtual coach. If you don't have money for a personal coach, or if you're not on some cross-country team, or you don't want to pay money for Runna, Strava, Garmin, whatever, you can use this. Yeah, so let's go into the demo. Here's the front page. When you get here, you're going to see there's this sidebar, and then there's this main page. You can easily toggle back and forth with the navigation bar. We'll just hide it for now. So this main page that you're on is called Coach. And on the very top, it's supposed to be like your coach talking to you. Create your custom training plan. Hey there, ready to train for your next big race? Whether it's a 5K, 10K, half marathon, or a marathon, we've got your back. We'll tailor a training plan that fits your timeline and fitness level. Remember, consistency is key, and so let's get started. So that's kind of the introduction. Then it has a few questions just to kind of figure out what your baseline is. So the first prompt is, what race are you training for? Let's fill in based on my current reality. I'm training for a half marathon, and my current longest distance is 8 miles. When is a race? It is March 2nd. And what days are you preferring to run? Well, currently I have it set up Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So we'll do that. Once you fill in this little questionnaire, you click generate. The first thing you're going to see is this little countdown progress bar, which is kind of neat. So we have 42 days until the race, and then it leaves a little encouraging message like, keep pushing, you've got it. But it also kind of warns you to say, don't be delusional. If this is your first day and your race is on March 2nd, just know you should have been training with at least 12 weeks to prepare. So 42 days is really cutting it short. And so the audience for this app is beginner to casual runners. If you're an elite, maybe this minimum weeks leading up to the race will be a little different. Obviously, you would probably need less time than someone that's brand new. So anyways, that's that. Now let's pretend that actually I have not put in any miles. It is my first day trying to figure out how much I should run. And let's push the date further into the future. You can click on this calendar and go left and right to go between months, or if it's too much to page through like a whole year worth of the calendar, you can just do month drop down. Let's say it's next year, say August 2026. So you have a lot of time to prepare. We'll just pick a random weekend, 15th. We're still going to keep Wednesday, Friday, Sunday cadence and half marathon. Yeah, that looks good. And then the progress bar changes and it says, you have 573 days until your race. Let's get moving. And then here you have all the weeks leading up to the race. Now let's just pick one week. Let's just go to week 1. How about that? Okay, so you've got Monday through Sunday. And Monday, Tuesday, you're resting or walking. Wednesday, you have base building run. So you start out with a little bit. Thursday, you have yoga or flexibility training. Friday is hill repeats. Saturday is yoga or flexibility. Sunday is your long run. So because you have so many weeks out in advance, your long run is half a mile. And then you'll see week 2, you have a mile for the long run. And then week 3, you have 1.5 miles. As you can see the pattern here, for the long runs, it iteratively bumps up by half a mile. And then the other thing is on the days that you're not running, because again, you have to choose one of these combinations for running, you have to run 3 days a week. Maybe you could do 1 day or whatever, but like I think for a long distance, it's really unrealistic to not run at least 3 days. So on the days you're not running, you can be resting or cross training. So one of the rules I have on the back end is that you have to rest two days, at least 2 days in the week. So that's why I gave you resting for Monday, Tuesday, back to back, probably because Sunday you had a long run. So you have Monday, Tuesday to take off. And then Wednesday, you have your base building. And then Thursday is your strength training. And then Friday, this is a Swedish word for fartlek. It's just like intervals, basically. And then Saturday, you have weights. Sunday, you have long run. So if you can see here, we chose Wednesday, Friday, Sunday cadence. Now Wednesday is like a light-ish workout. Friday is kind of the more moderate workout, and Sunday is your hard workout. So it will follow that pattern, even if you chose another combination of days. And yeah, I guess I already told you, the long runs, they calculate and they go up over time. There is a certain period where it does hit the peak. Now the peak for the long runs it's recommended you go up to the race distance. So for a half marathon, it's 13.1. So you will go up to that, but not more than that. 5K, you can run more than 3.1 miles. So we'll see at what week you hit 12. Okay, week 27 is when you hit your peak. Now, all the weeks leading up to this, they call it your base, your build phase, and then this is your peak phase. And then you'll see after 12 miles, you should be tapering. Okay, wow. Oh, so many weeks. Okay, you should see sometime, my goodness, that it will cut back. It needs to drop down. Because the week of your race, you shouldn't be. Okay, here we go. We're starting to see the long runs to decrease. Wow, week 73. Now you're entering this taper phase. You're going to go drop down to 11.2. The following week, you're down to 10.9, 10.6, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea until you hit the week of the race. So 8.8 miles. So essentially, that is what the first page does, is it generates a plan for you and it just randomizes what you need to do. And then if, let's say, you come to this page and it's kind of confusing, no worries. I have written up an about page. The first half is about the app, how to use it. The second half is about the running. So the knowledge behind this app. These specific things are the drivers for how that program was generated. So I have like definitions for what each of the race distances are. I have the minimum weeks to start training. So when you saw that yellow warning that said, hey, you need at least 12 weeks, that's because this table is what drives that message. So again, this is based on if you're a beginner to casual runner. If you're an elite runner, you don't need as much time. So maybe cut it by half. So instead of 6 weeks, you can do in 3 weeks for a 5K. Honestly, they could probably just go out there and do a 5K and without needing training at all. And then when I was showing you how the long runs, they slowly increase and then they hit their peak and then they start to drop down. That is based on this. So there's a calculation that says, obviously if you have more weeks to train, that gradual buildup is much slower than if you have shorter amount of time to train. So that's where the phases came from. So I was talking about how you have your build-up stage, you have your peak, and then it starts to taper off. That is what this is. And if, let's say, that sounds confusing, no worries. I have ChatGPT to define it for you here. The other thing is, so I also have a table for based on what distance you run, right? Those phases, the calculations will differ a little. But as you can see, across all of these, every single one, their base periods are the longest. And then their taper phase are really short. And then I read like week 1 example for different kind of workouts that generated for you. This is how the variations are, how they came to be. So I think I told you fart leg. Let me find that for you. Okay, you saw yoga and flexibility. You saw resting and walking. Hill repeats, you saw that fart leg. I don't think I said that right. But anyways, I have all the definitions for what each individual, I guess you could think of it as tasks or events for that day. So this would be like your light day. So if my cadence was Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Wednesday would be drawing from one of these activities. And then Friday would be one of these, which is a little more intense. And then long runs are just long runs. But cross training, it shuffles through one of these options and gives it to you. So if you're not resting and you're not running, you can do one of these things. Okay, so that is the About page. It's a lot of words, but I think it's really helpful to understand and maybe maximize this app. I demoed this for my friend, and she mentioned that it would be kind of nice to have stretching exercises. And it hadn't crossed my mind that actually not everyone knows maybe what to do before and after the run. So I added this tab to say, okay, here are the types of stretches you use. So for before you run, you do these types of stretches that are called dynamic stretches. And I have a little definition here. And then I also have a video guide, which just goes to someone's playlist. Okay, sorry, that's so loud. And then he walks you through those. And then I also have static stretching for after the run. Now, from personal experience, my cross-country coach used to tell me, don't stretch before you run. Run at least a mile to warm up the muscles. And when you're warming up, you should also not be running very quickly either. You should be at a conversational pace or slower. So what a conversational pace would be is that you can run and talk without like gasping for air. You should be talking comfortably, moving your body comfortably, or you can go even slower to almost like a fast walking. Once you have a mile of that, then you can do the stretching. So that's when I typically do these dynamic stretches after my mile run. But you could do it before you run as well. And then static stretching is for after you run. It could be immediately after, a little bit, like maybe you have to drive home and then you can stretch. It's not, I don't think it's like an exact science, but it's good for your injury prevention that you stretch. This fourth tab, is weather monitor. This is really cool because you can type in your city. Oh, let me not dox myself. Let's say I live in Stockholm because I love that city. You can say get weather, and it will tell you the current temperature, the type of weather condition, the wind, precipitation, and then there's also this table. And this table is an hourly. So you'll see here, this is in a like a UTC format by okay, yeah. So hour 6, hour 7, 8, 9, blah blah blah. So it's not Eastern Standard Time, it's UTC time. And then you have these columns that basically paint a picture of what the weather is like for the next, I think, 12 hours. So you'll see like, oh, it's going to be overcast, the wind's blowing in this direction, and this is how fast it's blowing. Something cool about this is that you can enlarge it by clicking this, and it'll blow up the table. Or if, let's say, you want to know when it's sunny, you don't want to read all the columns and all the rows, no worries. You just type in here, sunny. And then it's, oh, wow, it's not sunny at all. Fine, let's say clear. Then what it's going to do is it's going to highlight all the instances that it finds as clear. So 18 results. This is no different than if you go to some website and do Control F and you type in a word. So this is the Control F function there. And then you also have this download option. So you could download it as a table. We're not going to download it. Yeah. So let's go to this last tab. This one is an interactive app that you can type in the city, and then you can type in the state or the country name. So we're going to do Sweden. And you're going to click enter, and then it's going to generate a map that tells you, oh, here are some X amount of stores I found in a 5-mile radius, 3-mile radius, 5 kilometer of the city you said. So I said Stockholm, and it just chose like the city center, and it found 4 nearby stores. So you see one's called Shumed, and then there are 3 more in this little cluster, Normum, Nelson, Runners, and Red Wing Shoes. So yeah, that's essentially how this app, how this page works. Now let's say I'm back in the US, and let's do Atlanta. it says this is not valid. Okay, we're going to do Atlanta, Georgia. There we go, 3 stores. Only 3 stores, okay. All right, so we see here 2 of them near city center, Freeman's Shoes and Shoes Exotica. Oh, Peach Street, yeah, okay, so it's very close to downtown. And Big Peach Running Co. So it gives you longitude, latitude, but let's just verify and go to Google Maps and find Big Peach, or Peach, what's it called? Big Peach Running Co. Yeah. Wow, okay, so it's like a chain. Anyways, but let's see if it's actually a running store. So we're gonna go to website. There we go. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. And that's essentially it. So let's go back to the main page. And yeah, so that's a demo. If you want to look at the source code, it's here. You can access it through this little GitHub icon, and it'll take you straight to my app code. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the demo. Try it out, see how you like it, and also let me know if there are other things I could add to this app to make it more user-friendly. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it.